My child, stop scrolling for a moment, because what you are about to hear was not placed before you by accident. Something has shifted in the heart of the person connected to your soul, and heaven has allowed this message to reach you at the precise moment when your spirit is ready to understand it. Do not rush away. Do not dismiss the strange feeling that brought you here. There is something waiting for you inside these words, something that may explain the silence, the distance, the mixed signals, and the deep pull you have been unable to forget. Your soulmate wants to stay with you forever. They have imagined it more than once. They have pictured a life where they no longer have to hide what they feel, where they wake beside the person who understands the parts of them that no one else has ever reached. But there is one condition resting quietly inside their heart, and until that condition is understood, they are afraid to take the final step toward you. Stay here, because the condition is not what you think. It is not about appearance. It is not about money, status, perfection, or proving that you are better than anyone else. It is far deeper than anything the eyes can measure. Your soulmate has already seen enough of your outer world to know that their connection to you cannot be explained by ordinary attraction. What they feel has followed them into quiet rooms, late nights, crowded places, and moments when they tried their hardest to think about anything except you. Even when they told themselves to move forward, something inside them kept turning back. Even when they tried to behave as if the connection had faded, their heart continued speaking your name in ways they could not silence. You may have wondered why someone who feels so deeply would hesitate. You may have questioned why they would come close and then become distant, why their energy seemed warm one moment and guarded the next. Heaven wants you to understand that their hesitation was never proof that you meant nothing. In many ways, it was proof that you meant more than they were prepared to handle. They were not afraid of spending a little time with you. They were afraid of wanting all of their time with you. They were not afraid of a passing emotion. They were afraid that the emotion was permanent. There is a truth they have not spoken aloud. When they imagine losing you completely, something inside them grows heavy. They may not show this publicly. They may continue with their responsibilities, answer messages, smile at people, and move through the day as though nothing has changed. But behind that composed expression is a private realization: no one else has reached them in the way you have. Other people may have attracted their attention, but you awakened recognition. Others may have offered company, but you made them feel seen. Others may have admired the version of them that was easy to love, but your presence touched the hidden version, the wounded, hopeful, uncertain soul beneath the surface. Pause here, because the next part matters. The one condition they carry is not a demand meant to control you. It is a quiet prayer born from what they have survived. They want to know that if they finally give you their whole heart, you will not punish them for being vulnerable. They want to know that when the excitement becomes ordinary life, when the beautiful promises are tested by difficult days, you will still choose honesty instead of silence, patience instead of pride, and connection instead of escape. Your soulmate does not need you to be perfect. They need to feel emotionally safe with you. That is the condition. But there is more hidden inside it. To them, emotional safety is not simply about kind words. They have heard kind words before. They have believed promises that later dissolved. They have trusted people who made them feel secure until the moment trust became inconvenient. Because of this, they no longer measure love only by what is said during beautiful moments. They watch what happens during confusion. They notice how someone behaves when feelings become intense. They remember who stays calm when fear enters the room and who disappears when vulnerability becomes uncomfortable. They want forever with you, but they are silently asking, "Can I bring my unhealed parts into this love without being abandoned? Can I tell the truth about what scares me without being made to feel weak? Can I make a mistake and still be treated with dignity? Can we disagree without destroying everything? Can I trust that this person will speak to me, not turn away from me?" Do not skip this, because heaven is revealing why the condition became so important. There was a moment in your soulmate's past when they gave someone access to their deepest emotions. They believed that person would protect what had been shared. Instead, their vulnerability was misunderstood, ignored, or used against them. Something changed in your soulmate after that. They learned how to smile while hiding disappointment. They learned how to say, "I am fine," when they were quietly falling apart. They learned how to detach before anyone could leave first. Then you entered their emotional world. You may not have entered in the way either of you expected. Perhaps the connection began softly. Perhaps it arrived through conversation, eye contact, distance, coincidence, or a strange familiarity neither of you could explain. But soon, your soulmate felt something they had not planned to feel. Around you, the walls they had built began to tremble. They noticed that your presence reached beyond their defenses. This should have made them run immediately, yet it also made them want to stay. That contradiction has been exhausting them. One part of them wants to move toward you without hesitation. Another part keeps remembering what happened the last time they trusted deeply. One part imagines forever. Another whispers, "What if forever becomes another wound?" One part believes you may be the answer to prayers they stopped admitting they had. Another warns them that hope can be dangerous when given to the wrong person. Heaven has watched this inner struggle. Your angels have seen the moments when your soulmate almost reached out, almost confessed, almost allowed the truth to escape. They have seen the message written and erased. They have witnessed the conversation rehearsed in your soulmate's mind. They have watched them imagine how you might respond if they finally said, "I do not want something temporary with you. I want something real. But I need to know that I can trust the way you will hold my heart." There is a reason this message found you now. The condition is not only revealing what your soulmate needs. It is also revealing what this connection is asking both of you to become. Forever is not created by intensity alone. Intensity can open the door, but emotional maturity keeps two people inside the same room. Attraction can begin a story, but truth carries it through uncertainty. Destiny may bring two souls together, but free will determines whether they build something sacred or repeat the patterns that once hurt them. Your soulmate wants to know whether this love can become a sanctuary instead of another battlefield. They want to know whether the two of you can stop testing each other and begin trusting each other. They want to know whether unspoken assumptions can be replaced with clear communication. They want to know whether pride can be lowered before the connection is damaged beyond repair. You may feel that you have already tried. You may believe that you have given signs, shown patience, or carried more of this connection than they realize. Heaven is not dismissing your effort. Your pain has also been seen. The nights when you wondered whether you were imagining the bond were seen. The moments when you felt close to giving up were seen. The silent questions you asked. Why would God allow me to feel this deeply if nothing is meant to happen? Were heard. But what is being revealed now is larger than whether either of you has suffered more. The connection cannot enter its next chapter while both souls are protecting their wounds more fiercely than they are protecting the bond. Something huge is waiting for you in this truth. Your soulmate is not asking you to chase them. They are not asking you to beg, prove your worth, or abandon your boundaries. Their condition is not that you must carry the relationship alone. Emotional safety must move in both directions. They must also become a safe place for you. They are beginning to understand this. For a long time, they focused mainly on what they needed from you. They asked themselves whether you could be patient, loyal, honest, and emotionally present. But recently, another question entered their spirit. Have I given this person the same safety I am asking them to give me? That question unsettled them. They remembered moments when fear made them distant. They remembered times when they expected you to understand feelings they had never clearly expressed. They saw how their silence may have confused you. They considered how their guarded behavior might have made you question your value. For the first time, they began to realize that while they were protecting themselves from being hurt, they may have accidentally hurt the person they wanted most. This realization did not make them love you less. It made the situation feel more urgent. There was a recent moment, quiet, private, and emotionally powerful, when your soulmate imagined what life would feel like if you truly moved on. Not temporarily. Not as a way to get their attention. They imagined you becoming emotionally unavailable to them because someone else had finally given you the consistency you deserved. They imagined hearing that your heart had found peace elsewhere. In that vision, they felt something inside them collapse. That moment forced them to admit what they had avoided. They do not want to lose you. They do not only want another conversation. They do not only want another sign. They do not only want the comfort of knowing you still care. They want a future where the uncertainty ends. They want to know what it feels like to build with you, grow with you, and experience the ordinary miracles of life beside you. They have imagined small things. Sharing quiet mornings, discussing plans, laughing over simple moments, supporting one another through stress, and looking across a room with the secret understanding that says, after everything, we chose each other. Yet the condition remains because they need to believe that choosing you will not require them to lose themselves. Perhaps in the past, love demanded that they shrink. Perhaps they were expected to silence their needs to keep the peace. Perhaps they gave too much while receiving too little. Perhaps they learned to associate commitment with exhaustion. Now, even though they want forever, they fear becoming trapped in a pattern where love costs them their voice. That is why the condition has two sides. They want emotional safety, but they also want emotional freedom. The freedom to speak honestly without causing chaos, the freedom to have needs without being called difficult, the freedom to grow without being accused of changing, and the freedom to love deeply without losing their identity. Heaven says this kind of love is possible, but it requires courage from both souls. Do not mistake courage for dramatic gestures. Sometimes the bravest act is a calm conversation. Sometimes destiny moves forward because one person finally says what pride has kept hidden. Sometimes a connection changes forever when someone chooses clarity instead of waiting for the other person to read their mind. Your soulmate is approaching such a moment. They have been thinking about how to express the condition without making it sound like an ultimatum. They do not want to push you away. They do not want you to hear, "You are not enough." What they truly mean is, "You matter so much that I need to know we can handle this love with care." They may soon speak differently than before. Their tone may become more serious. They may ask a question that seems simple on the surface but carries years of hidden fear beneath it. They may ask what you truly want, whether you are prepared for something lasting, or whether you believe two people can repair misunderstandings without running from each other. Listen closely when this happens, because the question will not only be about the words they use. It will be about what their soul is risking by asking. They have spent so long pretending they could accept any outcome. But the truth is that they have a preferred outcome, and it is you. Something extraordinary is beginning beneath the surface. Your soulmate is moving from fantasy into decision. Before, forever was only something they imagined when emotions became strong. Now, they are considering what forever would actually require. They are thinking about consistency, accountability, healing, and the courage to be fully known. This is not the fading of romance. It is the deepening of it. A shallow connection asks, "Do you make me feel excited?" A lasting connection asks, "Can we remain truthful when excitement is not enough?" Your soulmate still feels the excitement, the pull, and the magnetic recognition. But now they are asking whether the connection can hold real life. They want to stay with you forever, but they need the two of you to stop making fear the invisible leader of the relationship. Fear has been making decisions in the shadows. Fear told them to wait. Fear told you to protect your dignity by saying less. Fear interpreted silence as rejection and hesitation as lack of love. Fear created stories where a simple conversation might have created truth. This does not mean every concern was imaginary. Some distance was real. Some disappointment was real. Some actions may have caused genuine pain. But heaven is revealing that beneath the visible confusion, neither soul has been as indifferent as they appeared. There is still feeling here. There is still possibility here. There is still a door that has not fully closed. But the door will not remain open forever without movement. Stay until the end, because the deepest revelation is still approaching. Your soulmate's condition is beginning to change. At first, they believed the condition depended entirely on you. They thought, "I will stay forever if this person can make me feel safe." But now they are realizing that no one can build complete safety alone. They must participate in creating it. This awakening is pushing them toward a choice they once avoided. They know they may have to lower their guard first. They may have to risk saying what they feel without knowing how you will respond. They may have to apologize for the confusion their silence created. They may have to explain why they pulled away when they actually wanted closeness. And here is what they have not yet admitted, even to themselves: part of the condition is already being fulfilled. They have watched you survive what was meant to break you. They have seen your heart remain soft after disappointment. They have noticed the way you care, even when you try to hide it. They have remembered moments when you offered understanding without demanding anything in return. These memories are becoming evidence that perhaps you are not the person their fear warned them about. Yet one final doubt remains. They are wondering whether your heart is still open to them. This question has become louder recently. They sense a change in your energy. Perhaps you are more tired than before. Perhaps you have become quieter, stronger, or less willing to chase clarity. Your soulmate can feel that you are no longer standing in the same emotional place. They recognize that while they were deciding whether to trust the connection, you were deciding whether waiting was costing you too much. That realization has created urgency. Your soulmate knows they cannot ask for forever while offering uncertainty. They know they cannot demand emotional safety while leaving you emotionally confused. They know that if they want you to remain, they must show you that remaining is safe for you too. This is where the story is turning. Heaven is not promising a fantasy without effort. Heaven is revealing an opportunity for transformation. The connection is being brought to a threshold where hidden feelings must become honest choices. Both souls are being asked to release old patterns. The pattern of retreating, the pattern of testing, the pattern of expecting rejection before love has been given a fair chance. The condition for forever is not perfection. It is mutual courage. The courage to say, "This hurt me," without trying to punish the other person. The courage to say, "I still care," without feeling ashamed. The courage to ask, "Can we begin differently?" even after confusion. The courage to build trust in small, consistent steps instead of demanding instant certainty. Your soulmate is closer to this courage than you realize. Something happened inside them recently that made the thought of losing you feel more painful than the fear of speaking. They encountered a reminder of you, a place, a song, a conversation, a memory, or perhaps a dream that felt unusually vivid. For a moment, they felt your absence as though it were a glimpse of a future they did not want. In that moment, they made a quiet promise to themselves. They promised that if they received one clear sign that the connection could still be healed, they would stop pretending forever was not what they wanted. But they have not revealed what they consider that sign to be. And this is where you must listen with your spirit, not only your ears. The sign is not a grand performance. It is not a public declaration or dramatic pursuit. It is something more personal, something connected to a moment between you that your soulmate has never forgotten. There was a time when you said or did something that made them feel safe without realizing the depth of its impact. Perhaps you listened when others interrupted. Perhaps you noticed sadness behind their smile. Perhaps you gave them space without withdrawing love. Perhaps you spoke one sentence that stayed with them long after the conversation ended. That memory has become the blueprint for their condition. They want to feel that again. Not the exact moment, but the truth behind it. The feeling that with you, they can be known without being judged. They have been waiting to see whether that version of the connection can return. They have been asking whether the tenderness was real or only temporary. They have been wondering whether both of you can find your way back to the place before fear complicated everything. The answer is not yet complete, because one conversation has not happened. Your soulmate has prepared words for it. They have changed those words many times. Sometimes the message begins with an apology. Sometimes it begins with a question. Sometimes they imagine simply saying your name and allowing the silence afterward to carry what language cannot. But last night, or during a recent quiet moment, they decided there is one truth they can no longer hide. They want forever with you. They are willing to admit it. They are willing to discuss the condition. They may even be willing to release the condition as a barrier and turn it into a promise the two of you build together. Yet just before they could take the next step, something happened that made them pause again. Someone said something about you. It was not necessarily cruel, but it raised a question your soulmate had been trying to avoid. The words touched the one fear still standing between them and the future they imagine with you. Your soulmate did not respond immediately. They became quiet. They replayed the comment. Then they looked back at everything they knew about you, everything they had felt, and everything they were afraid to lose. And in that silence, they reached a decision that could change the direction of this connection forever. But before they reveal the decision, they need to discover whether the condition they have carried all this time was protecting their heart, or secretly preventing them from receiving the love they prayed for.